You know, there are certain actors that one feels especially privileged to talk to, and Billy D. Williams is one of those. I know, and I would imagine, I know that you had lots of experience on Broadway and elsewhere before you started making motion pictures, but I think that the average person in the public had a similar experience to mine. I saw you first in The Glass House, and I thought, wow, look at that. Then I saw you in Brian's Song, and I thought, look out, here comes some kind of an actor. And then I saw you in Lady Sings the Blues, and I said, he's here. He's going to be one of the major contenders. And I'm sure these kinds of influence, you felt them too, didn't you? You felt your career change, you felt the direction of things moved.
Well, especially at that point, I think, because Brian's Song, Glass House, and Lady Sings the Blues all in one period. I think it was in 1 year, I believe.
I think
about
so.
a year and a half. You know, it was like after many years of just kind of struggling along and being uncertain and going through a lot of, the pain. Some people say paying the dues. It all of a sudden came together. And I was very happy about it because you get strange after a while. You just don't know which way it's all going to go for you,
And
what turn you should take.
Somehow you start to be led a little bit by what people are asking of you, I would imagine. Is that true?
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the reaction of the public and the requests for your services, the people who are seeking you to do pictures, obviously must start to lead you a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. A little bit.
We have nature speaking to us in the background here in the form of a thunderstorm, but I guess we won't let that bother us much. Your background before that, I said, look, yeah, please cool it. We've got business coming on here. I was talking about Broadway a little bit, but your early things in Broadway were mixed with a career in art, as I understand. Is that true?
Yeah. Actually, I've been painting for a long time, and after I left high school, I had gotten a scholarship to a school called the National Academy of Fine Arts and Design, where I spent 2 years painting, winning awards and things like that. But during that time, I started doing extra work on television just to get some money to buy canvases and paints and stuff like that. I never really looked for acting. I mean, I just sort of kind of fell into it. I think it found me. I guess it knew that I should be a part of it, so it just embraced me, and then I just kind of flowed with it, and I just let it take me.
If you had to kind of search for the qualities which made that true, what do you think they are? What is it about you that makes it appropriate for you to be an actor?
I don't know. At that time, I really had a good instinct for it, and I was always been kind of a ham, although I was rather introspective as an individual. Never talked very much. But whenever there was an opportunity, or whenever I felt that I wanted to display something else, that was there. I guess I have a mercurial nature, which is always very good for an actor, I guess. And I'm always probing and digging and trying to find out things, always observing, behavior, And these things, this is all a part of the I guess it's all a part of the apparatus, or making up the apparatus.
Observing it, and I think responding too. I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting, but I have a feeling that you respond to your surroundings and they influence you.
Yeah, I think I've been talking about this a great deal. This whole thing of being receptive. I was talking about it in a way that I've accepted. Somehow I've accepted when people have extended themselves, their interest, which I call a love interest. I recognized it, and I tried to deal with it, as a survival thing.
The word love really causes people all of a sudden, they put up antennas, and some of them interpret it this way and some of them interpret it that way. And I think many Americans are afraid of the word because it means so many strange things to them. Getting over that fear of what the word means, I think, has a lot to do with accepting and reacting and feeling, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you first you have to learn to understand it, the various levels, or at least find an understanding for yourself. Anyway, I think I found sort of an understanding, which I use in my relationship with people and also in my work.
Before we started visiting on camera here, you said something about Brian's Song, which of course many people will react to immediately, as being a work of love.
Yeah,
what did you mean to that?
An act of love. Well, it was it was an ensemble effort there. You know, I think everybody was in tune to the subject matter, and everybody had a very special feeling about the subject matter. I think, for instance, like with Jimmy and I, when we first met each other, there was a great chemistry between the two of us. So that
James Caan.
James Caan, yeah. So that we didn't really have to really work very hard to, you know, discover who we were or were in terms of each other. Which, you know, and I don't think that's an accident. I think those kind of things really happen for a reason, it's an obvious reason to me. We both emerged, you know, as a result of that kind of feeling. And of course, Buzz Kulick, who directed it, is a very special individual in my life too, because he was there. He was a strong part of it. But the ensemble effort became very important to me. It somehow manifested itself. You know, you can hear about things all the time, but all of a sudden there it is, standing in front of you. It's like the first time I saw my son. You know, when he was a baby. You know, and I was away and I came home. He was 5 weeks old, and I saw him, and it was the first manifestation of love for me. You know, my new daughter, same thing.
You had a similar ensemble feeling in the three pictures we've mentioned, however, haven't you?
Yeah.
Certainly in Glass House, the Truman Capote thing you did, which dealt with prison life and so forth, that had to have been that kind of thing. And Lady Sings the Blues, I know, was that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
yeah. Well, Glass House was very special, you know. It was very interesting. You know, we all went down to Utah, to the Utah State Prison. And, you know, naturally the feeling is with good actors is that, you know, we want to go in there and you know, get a strong feeling of the environment, maybe even spend a night inside of one of those jail cells, you know. But as we worked and talked to the inmates, and as we began to feel the milieu, the surroundings, we stopped. At some point, we stopped being actors, and we became very concerned citizens. And I think we all wanted to begin to really express the truth of what goes on in that particular kind of society, which is a whole other time-space syndrome. You know? You know.
Lady Sings the Blues. You know, the two other pictures we were talking about were both rather intense pictures. So was Lady Sings the Blues. However, your role wasn't quite as intense. It was a little more of a matinee idol type of surrounding. Did that turn a corner for you a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. It made me into a movie star, which is, you know, it's just something I'm really still trying to get used to. You know,
Yeah.
It's something that, you know, I find myself very curious about. You know, and I find myself even at this point looking at old movies with old movie stars because they all somehow had a magic, and they had a magic that people don't get tired of. You know. And I want to know about that. I want to understand that. You know.
It is a curious quality, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know that you had an exposure to and an involvement with Sidney Poitier at a certain time, and that he means something special to you, doesn't he?
In ways that he probably would not know, or maybe not even understand. You know, I think that, as I said before, you know, I think I'm capable of being receptive, you know, and which is very hard to do, I suppose. But I think you have to have it, or, you know, it has to be a part of your kind of vulnerability. And he said things to us and expressed
In an acting class.
Yeah,
wasn't
in
it?
an acting class, and which made me believe that there was a place for me, you know, being a young black living in Harlem and you know, living in an environment that had a great deal of prejudice and discrimination, bigotry, you know. But it was like a glimpse of hope, you know. It's like you know, driving through a tunnel, and all of a sudden there's that little light, you know, and you know that something, maybe you can really get through, you know.
You used a word a few moments ago, vulnerability, which is means something else to different people, and yet it's a very important word. Well, what does it mean to you?
Well, for instance, I'll give you an example. The character Louis McKay in Lady Sings the Blues. Now, most hustlers are portrayed, you know, as hard people, you know. But I thought it would be very interesting to play against the slickness of the character, you know, the physical slickness of the character, and the hustler, you know, thing. And I thought that it would be interesting to deal with vulnerability as a strength, which a lot of men are afraid to deal with.
Yes.
You know, and it worked.
Yeah, it did.
And I was very happy. But I like breaking rules anyway. You know?
Billy, you're a very good-looking man, very talented actor. You have become a movie star, as you mentioned a few moments ago, as a result of Lady Sings the Blues and, of course, the other pictures. It'll be very easy for people to take advantage of that and just make you a matinee idol. But I know that you want to be more than. How are you going to guard against just being made a facade now?
Yeah. Well, I've been really thinking about that, you know, and I'm really kind of studying the whole thing. You know, I'm trying to find out what it is that people are attracted to when they suddenly see that image up there that they can somehow identify with. It's usually, I think, it's something that an actor does, whatever that thing happens to be. It makes up a kind of, it's a charismatic kind of thing, I think. And I think it's very hard to explain. I think it's probably a combination of things now. I have been trained as an actor. That is, I'm not a personality type. That is, I think that the personality thing is second to the actor thing, you know, the quest to probe and mold and put things together. So that I think it's kind of it's inherent, you know, it's there, you know, and I don't think I could ever get away from it, even though I'm projecting a kind of personality. And I think personality is very important for movie stars. When you're a character actor, you never really become a movie star because you're changing so much, people forget who you are. But they like to identify with a certain thing, you know, a smile, a twinkle in the eye, whatever.
I think you perfected the intense look in Hit more than you ever had before. Very serious. You're going to be recorded quickly, I think.
But again, you see now, I get intrigued by behavior. You know, and what I wanted to do was deal with a CIA mentality, which isn't always an obvious thing. Never obvious. It's obvious. I mean, on the surface, there's a amicable person can be very sensitive. But underneath there's a calculating kind of machine, you know, which comes through. All of this other, facade. I try to do. And that's the kind of thing I try to do with Hit. But as long as you're thinking, I'm always thinking, and you have to see it. You have to see it. I like to do the subtlety. Brando is a movie star. But Brando never stops being an actor. He's always giving you something interesting in the character. This is the kind of thing that I think I'm inclined to do. One of the other things that happens is being movie star. Some of the things happen. We have another appointment. We got to go. Things are busy. You said to me a few minutes ago, I'm tired. We're going to cope with that. Is that going to be a problem?
Come face to face.
Come face to face with that and resolve it in some way. No, I have come face to face with that. It's part of the game. You want certain things to happen. You want certain things to happen. I love it. I might complain about it.
It's interesting. Acting is an art. It's also a business. And people realize that soon to be worse. Well, it's been a great pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
We'll be back in a moment. Don't go away. Billy D. Williams, the motion picture now. It's called Hit.